Hey, sweet listeners, you just tuned in to the NetSuite podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Fisher, and on this episode, we'll be talking all things SuiteWorld. Yes, we are reuniting in Las Vegas once again for arguably the best conference of the year, SuiteWorld 21. And to discuss everything you need to know about the event, I'll bring on Fritz Nelson, NetSuite Editor-in-Chief, as well as our Head of Product Marketing, Lisa Schwarz, and Vice President of Field Engagement and Marketing, Ranga Bodla. We'll cover the basics of SuiteWorld, what it is, and what our customers, prospects, partners, and attendees get out of the event, as well as what's new and exciting this year as we focus on helping businesses really understand the power of growth and how to harness new opportunities. We'll then dive into some of the content to come, including product and hot topic sessions, and how to get signed up for the conversations you want to hear. And finally, it wouldn't be a SuiteWorld podcast without a bit of reminiscing on some of the fun times of years past and what we're looking forward to this year. All of that's coming up next, so stay tuned.
You're listening to the NetSuite podcast, where we discuss what's happening within NetSuite, why we're doing it, and where we're heading in the future. We'll dive into the details about the software and the people at NetSuite who are behind all the moving parts. We'll also feature customer growth stories, discussing the ups and downs of running a company and how one integrated system can help your business continue to scale.
First up, NetSuite's Editor-in-Chief, Fritz Nelson, joins us to discuss SuiteWorld in general, what it is and what our customers, prospects, partners, and attendees get out of the event, as well as what's new and exciting this year. Hi, Fritz. Thanks so much for joining us once again on the NetSuite podcast. It's been a minute since you've been on.
I know. I can't remember the last time, actually. Did you ban me from the show for a while?
No. I'm wondering if it was after our virtual event in the spring. Was it NetSuite Now On Air? Not sure, but yeah, that's got to be the last time, one of our virtual events where you came on and chatted for a bit about all of that. But as I told our listeners in the intro to this podcast episode, today we're talking about something exceptionally exciting, and that is SuiteWorld 21. It's super exciting because we haven't seen everybody in person at an event in a little while following everything with the pandemic. So it's super exciting that we're all going to be coming back together again, reunited, and it feels so good. But before we kind of get into SuiteWorld and everything that's to come, you are our editor-in-chief. Some of our listeners who've been on for a long time already know that, but for those who are new, you oversee all of our content here at NetSuite. You've been helping so much. I mean, you are literally leading the kind of content creation for SuiteWorld this year, and we'll talk about that. But first, I think it's important to remind our listeners, what is SuiteWorld? What purpose does it serve for our customers and partners?
Well, before I get to that, do you know who sang Reunited? Don't look it up.
These are questions people ask me, and then I'm like,
the lyrics.
No, and then
the lyrics. It's
I know
the band, or I don't know if it was a couple or a band, I guess. Peaches and Herb.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know. I'll add that into my bank of knowledge.
There you go. Yeah, go look them up. They had quite a few good songs. SuiteWorld. SuiteWorld is our annual gathering of customers. It is both a place for great content, which we'll get into, and also kind of a celebration of our customers. But it's more than that. It's really been a place for our customers to learn from one another, not just in sessions, but in hallways, on the expo floor, in happenstance meetings at breakfast or at the coffee shop, or maybe at the gambling tables. But there's a lot of learning that goes on peer to peer, and it's also a great place where we NetSuite can provide some help. We'll have NetSuite experts of all kinds at the show, answering questions, giving demos, having one-on-one meetings. So there's a lot of great things that happen, and people really enjoyed coming. We certainly love putting it on for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a, and I was about to say, it's such a fun event, and you went with, there's a lot to be learned. There's a lot of insights customers, prospects, attendees gain, but there's also a lot of fun that comes with this. I mean, we have some entertainment that I can't let anybody in on right at this moment, but we'll have some entertainment that's at our party on the last night of SuiteWorld. And of course, it's Vegas, so it's always going to be fun, but we also have fun activations that are there on the expo floor where you get to really interact with different customers and see what they do. And of course, our keynotes are actually, while they're very informative, they also can be a lot of fun. We always throw some surprises in there. And SuiteWorld's transformed quite a bit. It was originally conceived by our group vice president of marketing, Jennifer Smith, in 2011. For our longtime listeners, again, you may have tuned in to our episode in March of 2019 when we were talking about SuiteWorld 19, and she gave some insight into kind of how she came up with the idea of SuiteWorld. So if you want to, go check out that episode. But it originally started off in San Jose in Northern California, and then made its way to Vegas in 2017. I would argue that that's where it really took it up a notch. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've seen interviews where people will be like, once we moved to Vegas, it was, it just turned into one of the most fun events of the year. We originally took over the Sands Expo and the Venetian. And this year we will actually be in Caesars Forum. So this is a first for us, but it's actually not the only first that we're experiencing this year. Fritz, can you tell us a little bit more about what to expect this year and how else we've evolved?
Well, of course, since we're at the Caesars Forum, we have the Forum shops right next door, which I know you're very excited about.
Absolutely.
Little Louis Vuitton action and some Gucci, all kinds of great things. No, I think for the past 18 months, we've all had to rethink our live events with almost everything going virtual for a while. And, virtual events aren't anything new, but for big events like SuiteWorld, it is new. So the big thing though, this year is, as we kind of evolve back into more in-person stuff, is that we have, of course, SuiteWorld in person for those who can and want to come to the event, which are many, but also for those who can't, we'll have a more virtual version of it called SuiteWorld On Air. And so we're kind of excited about that, because you and I are going to be very involved in that part as well.
Yeah. And I guess now there's no better time than now to talk about another first that kind of comes with that SuiteWorld On Air virtual experience, where we really are focused on bringing that mixture of in-person and virtual together. So if I could get a drum roll, please. You're not that good at that.
No.
We are actually bringing NetSuite TV to SuiteWorld 21 this year. Yes, you heard that right. We will be running a live 2-day broadcast from the expo floor to really bring that excitement of SuiteWorld to our viewers at home. There's so much that's going into that. So Fritz, I know you've been helping me in planning that quite a bit. What are some things you're looking forward to?
Well, I mean, we want to engage our audience, right? So we've got some fun games planned. You and I were going to actually play a kind of a version of a Newlyweds, like for colleagues, work colleagues. I'm glad
you
that I
made that point, because
well, and if we had done that now, having heard your answer to my earlier question, we could have done trivia about old school R&B, and I would have won that one hands down. But we're going to have some fun games with our in-person audience and online as well. I'm also looking forward to having some of our customers come talk to us as well.
Yeah, for sure. We will have some customer interviews on there. We'll have some product panels where we dive deep into some of our products. And then from that, actually, we'll have customer product panels with customers who are using some of our different products, and they'll be talking about their growth journeys with us. And then of course, we'll have some really big guests come on. One person I can announce right now is our celebrity guest at SuiteWorld will be Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. So we'll have him on. We'll talk business with him, of course. And obviously our own personal celebrity, Evan Goldberg, will be joining us. And that's just a couple to name so many different people who will be joining us throughout that 2-day broadcast. I'm really looking forward to it. And like you said, it's not just going to be informative. It's going to be fun. SuiteWorld's fun and informative. And that's what we're really going to bring on SuiteWorld On Air, as well as NetSuite TV. So I'm super excited for that. Fritz, what can customers, partners, and prospects get out of SuiteWorld specifically this year? What is SuiteWorld 21 bringing to the table?
Well, besides that idea of kind of being reunited, as you said at the top, and being back together.
Peaches and herb.
Yep, peaches and herb. Back together again. Our theme this year is power of growth, and we'll dive into what that means in Evan's keynote. And how you get there, and what are some of the critical factors of growth? The economy is showing some positive signs of growth, so there's plenty of opportunity to be had. But how do you look for those opportunities when things are changing so rapidly and so unpredictably? And in answer to that, we'll be talking about some of the new things we've been working on at NetSuite that will help organizations maximize those opportunities. We'll have some new product announcement type stuff as always, but I don't want to give too much of that away here, or really any of it. So yeah. You'll have to tune in for or attend Evan's keynote where he goes through some of this, and Gary Weisinger, our head of product, who does deeper dives into everything we're working on, and that's always a fun and packed session as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to dive into like a bit deeper actually into some of that content that's not just happening in the keynotes, but that's also happening in our sessions. Right after this, actually, you and I, Fritz, will be joined by our head of product marketing, Lisa Schwarz, as well as our vice president of field engagement and marketing, Ranga Bodla. Both of them have been to a lot of SuiteWorlds in the past, so they'll bring some of their knowledge and kind of like what to expect, what they're excited for, some of their favorite memories, but also they'll cover a little bit about, what to expect from sessions, how to sign up, and all of that jazz. But you mentioned, I want to make sure our audience knows that you still can register for SuiteWorld. If you just go to NetSuiteWorld.com, that's all one word, NetSuiteWorld.com, you can register still for SuiteWorld. So whether you want to attend in person or do SuiteWorld on air, either one, please make sure you go check that out, because we'd love to see you virtually, in person, whatever. There's so much to come, and so much you'll gain from this experience. So with that, Fritz, I say we bring Lisa and Ranga on right after this break.
Let's do it.
Does your business have trouble managing inventory, projects, or even getting paid on time? Don't let spreadsheets and QuickBooks hold you back. If you want to get your business to a better place, take action now and make the move to NetSuite. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need, all in one place, instantaneously. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite.
Join the over 24,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/business. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/business. netsuite.com/business.
Now, Fritz and I will join our head of product marketing, Lisa Schwarz, and vice president of field engagement and marketing, Ranga Bodla, to dive into SuiteWorld sessions, how to sign up, and what to expect. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ranga. Thanks so much for joining us on the NetSuite podcast once again.
Hey, Kendall.
Hey, Kendall. Thanks for having us back.
Super excited to hear from you guys on some of the content that we'll be covering, especially in our sessions. But Ranga, for our listeners who've maybe never attended SuiteWorld before, can you explain what sessions are?
I'd be happy to. SuiteWorld, one of the best things about SuiteWorld is the content. That's why people come to SuiteWorld. They get to hear from our experts. And I say our experts, it's not just our product managers, it's our solution consultants, it's people from professional services. It's people that really spend their day in and day out inside of NetSuite and really have the best nitty-gritty information about NetSuite. It's where you're going to find the stuff that you're not going to find in the documentation. And that's what those sessions, all the breakouts that we do, even some of the keynotes, like you're going to hear things that you're not going to find elsewhere. And that's one of the great things about all the sessions at SuiteWorld.
And Lisa, what are some of the notable things to mention out of the sessions this year?
A lot of, you'll definitely see, our greatest hits topics of our staples of financials, our admin and developer track are packed with content. I think one area to really be conscious of is all the content around our supply chain tracks or sessions. A lot of stuff since that's so timely this year. So we've got, things on the supply allocation capabilities of NetSuite, our MRP, going into our warehouse management solution. So a lot of that, supply chain type of topics, which is so timely today and in the news.
And Ranga, how can both in-person and virtual attendees sign up for these sessions?
So your best place to go is NetSuite, SuiteWorld.com. And then once you're registered, you can use the agenda builder. And the agenda builder is really where you can build your overall agenda, get your keynotes, figure out your breakouts, figure out if you want to try to do customer meetings, all those types of things. You can get all of that figured out at NetSuite, SuiteWorld.com.
For those of you who aren't registered yet and still thinking about it, you can still register now there as well. So once you get registered, like Ranga said, you can build your agenda from there. But first, get registered. We miss you guys. We want to see you all in person or see you virtually and hang out with you and reunite, because it feels so good, as Fritz taught me from Peaches and Herb. Now, Fritz, for those who already are registered and attending in person, this is a couple years now since 2019 and things have changed. What do they need to know?
Yeah, I think a big piece of information that we need to share this year is around safety and health protocols. We care about the health and safety of our customers, employees, and communities. We continue to monitor local COVID-19 protocols and mandates to ensure that we can meet in the safest way possible. Entrance into SuiteWorld will require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test every 48 hours from all attendees, staff, and vendors. On-site testing will be available at a discounted rate, or attendees can choose from an approved list of testing locations in the area. In addition, everyone will be required to answer daily screening questions via a secure app or a questionnaire.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to add a link for more details, including how to pre-register for an on-site test, in the description of this podcast episode, for everybody tuning in who wants to learn more. And for those who will be attending virtually, any advice, Lisa, on getting set up and situated to ensure they don't miss anything?
Most definitely. Same as if you're attending in person, go to the SuiteWorld site and check out the sessions and build out, your agenda for the virtual content that we have going. Lots of things to choose from, different types of sessions and formats. So go early, check it out, plan your days. We structured it so that it is more accommodating to, watching it on screen with breaks and things like that. So hopefully that's going to work with everybody's schedule, and it'll be great.
Speaking of which, what are you guys most excited about? Kendall?
I knew you were going to call me out first. I think what we talked about earlier, Fritz, I am so excited about NetSuite TV, not just because it's my baby, but it's because it's something we've never done before. It's a live 2-day broadcast. It's going to be so much fun. I mean, I just love that we're able to really bring that excitement of SuiteWorld and of the expo floor to our audience who's tuning in virtually. And yeah, I'm just really excited for that. I guess I'll popcorn Ranga.
While I mentioned the breakouts and I mentioned that people come to SuiteWorld for the breakouts, the thing I'm actually, me personally, most excited about are the keynotes. Because, the keynotes are always where there's something new you hear from the executives or from our customers that you just don't ever get to hear otherwise. And so I'm really most excited about the keynotes.
Lisa?
So much to choose from. How can you pick? It's like Sophie's choice. Definitely Sessions Keynote Expo 4 is always, it's always great to connect with our partners and see what's new and exciting from that perspective. So in that area, I think I would encourage that, and I'll spend some extra time there. And you never know, I always like to get those tchotchkes too. Still, love to collect those tchotchkes.
Love a tchotchke moment.
I would say, I hate to repeat, but like Ranga, I look forward to the keynotes most. Just looking out at the size of the crowd and some of the great production work that we put into the SuiteWorld show itself, but also into the keynote is so much fun to see, and also the NetSuite store. What new gear will we have? I want to see that too.
Yeah, we'll be featuring some super exciting customers and as Lisa said, tchotchkes in the Suite store, which you will all learn about. And I'd be remiss not to mention, while we're talking about all of the things we're looking forward to, the teams that are behind all of this. Fritz has been working incredibly hard on the content. He works a lot with Jennifer, as we talked about earlier, Jennifer Smith, who is really kind of the founder, if you will, of SuiteWorld. Lane, Sobel, and all of the people that are working on her team and all of the suppliers and agencies we've been working with. So huge shout out to all of you. If you're tuning in, thank you for all of your hard work on this. And we're just so excited. So excited to get going, to be with everybody, to reunite. And as we talk about this, I get nostalgia from years past. I mentioned to Fritz earlier, this is our 10th SuiteWorld. So I guess to wrap up here with all of you, what's one of your favorite memories from SuiteWorlds in the past?
I would say, I do love the Kendall on the curbs. They're always fun and exciting. But also a couple of years ago, we had Shaq, and there was one point he called up. It was actually an employee of NetSuite who came up to about his knee. And that was just there's just all sorts of those kind of incredible serendipitous moments that happen, and it just kind of adds, it's almost like frosting on the cake.
Yeah.
To make SuiteWorld that extra special event.
Yeah. Ranga, what about you? You've been to a lot of SuiteWorlds.
I gotta say, I have a lot of memories from SuiteWorld, but one of the things I love about SuiteWorld is the random collisions. There were, you get to work with so many customers over the year, and getting to see them. And there was those random collisions that would often happen. I remember this is actually probably 3 SuiteWorlds ago. I ran into a customer that I had did my first webinar with NetSuite in 2010 with, and we had talked on the phone, and then we hadn't seen each other in probably 5 years. Here we are randomly colliding at SuiteWorld. So I would say the random collisions is one of my favorite memories.
Yeah, that was in between moments. You mentioned that earlier. What you get at SuiteWorld, you don't get in, anywhere else in any documents or anything like that. So I think that's great. Lisa, what about you?
Yeah, I love how you phrase that, Ranga, because it's so true. I mean, working behind the scenes, with getting content, the session content up and running, working with Fritz on keynotes and things like that, we get so caught up in kind of, making the sausage, but then when you're actually there, it's just that connecting with customers and even, employees that you've worked with remotely for so long, in some respects. So just having, connecting real quick. Oh, you remember when we did this type of thing? Just walking in the hall that's really what gets me energized and excited again, and makes all the long days and nights worth it. So those are my big favorite moments.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, you covered all of it. I think a memory that will forever stick with me is my very first SuiteWorld. We were doing a run through of Evan's keynote, of the day one keynote, and there was a drum line involved and a band and all this craziness in my mouth. I remember Lane saying to me, Lane Sobel, she oversees SuiteWorld now. She looked at me and she said, your mouth was on the ground, Kendall. Like you had never seen this before, like you were looking at magic. And that's really what, not to get, all hokey on you guys, but that's really what SuiteWorld is to me. It's magic. It's bringing our community and our customers and partners together to create magic, to really, build upon each other's knowledge and build upon our camaraderie. And so I'm super excited to make that happen again and to be, with everybody in person and virtually and to feel that community again, that magic. So that would be it. But that's it. I can't believe it. That's it. We're going to see each other next. I think next time we'll all talk, we'll be at SuiteWorld. So thank you all so much for joining us, making this episode happen.
Thanks, Kendall.
Thanks, Kendall.
See you at SuiteWorld.
Clearly, there is so much to look forward to at SuiteWorld this year, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. We're just so excited to reunite with you. And for more information on the event, including how to register and safety protocols, I've left a few links in the description of this episode. Thank you to Fritz Nelson, Ranga Bodla, and Lisa Schwarz for joining us. I also want to shout out to our editing crew over at Lampstand and all of you for tuning in. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Bye.
You just listened to the NetSuite podcast. Be sure to tune in every week with more NetSuite developments, stories, and insights into the benefits of one integrated system to help you run your business.